So here we go then. Welcome back to another edition of the Boot Room with myself, Ross, and I'm joined by good old Mark Heath as we look ahead to Town's clash with Bristol Rovers at Portman Road. Under lights, Joe Barton and co coming to town. Of course, Heathy, thanks for joining me. All football at every level was postponed over the weekend. Of course, as a mark of respect for the death of Her Majesty the Queen Elizabeth II. How you feeling going into this game, my friend?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, we should say, Ross, that we are the B team. I've managed to give both Stu and Andy the day off today, which was terrible planning on my half. So I'm very, very busy this afternoon. I've got some press conferences, some previews, and of course this to do. But we wanted people to get this because I know people enjoy it. So boot room wise, in terms of the look ahead to tomorrow's game, obviously it's going to be a night charged with emotion. Nights at Portman Road and the lights are always a bit special, aren't they? And there's going to be a lot of emotion. Clearly, it's the first game since the death of the Queen. A lot of people upset that games were called off over the weekend. A lot of people wanted the opportunity to pay their respect kind of en masse at a sporting fixture, which they're going to get the chance to do tomorrow. There'll be a minute's silence. All the players will wear black armbands, and we're going to get the national anthem as well, which is obviously quite an unusual thing to have a football game. So that should be quite a powerful moment. And on top of that, also you've got the Marcus Stewart angle. Clearly, we found out last week that Marcus Stewart very sadly diagnosed with motor neurone disease, a legend for both clubs. So you imagine that he's going to be on the minds and in the hearts of a lot of people watching the game tomorrow in both sets of supporters. And who knows, we may get the there's only one Marcus Stewart chant sung a couple of times by everyone tomorrow. That would be very nice indeed. But clearly, those are the main talking points ahead of the game, ahead of everything else we're going to talk about.
Yeah, indeed, mate. It's going to be a very emotional night. And of course, it's the first proper under lights game of the season. Of course, we had Northampton, the Pizza Trophy, but this is going to be a league fixture. As I said, Joe Barton's going to be coming with his Bristol Rovers side. And let's talk about Bristol Rovers back in League One. Of course, they had an unbelievable, crazy last day promotion, scoring 7 goals against Scunthorpe and winning promotion. 16th for League One at the moment. 2 wins, 2 draws, 3 defeats. How are you feeling taking on Bristol Rovers on Tuesday night?
On paper, it's obviously a game that Town should win. But, Joey Barton factor, under the lights, all the extra emotion around the game. You wonder how ambitious they're going to be coming here. Are they going to make it difficult for Town? There are a couple of interesting things around Bristol Rovers. One being the fact they're really bad at defending set pieces, which is obviously interesting. We know Town weren't great at set pieces, but they've clearly improved that a fair bit this season with the Lee Evans and Connor Chaplin connection. Bristol Rovers have conceded 5 goals from set pieces so far this season, 3 from corners already. So you'd imagine, and I'll ask Kieran McKenna about this later, you'd imagine that's going to be an area that Town will look to take advantage of tomorrow night. And also in terms of kind of players to watch, you've got Aaron Collins, who's been in really good form for Bristol Rovers, signed a new 3-year deal over the summer, scored 18 goals last season. He's already scored 4 goals and chipped in with 3 assists this season, which is the best at Rovers in both categories. He's been playing all over the pitch, actually. He was an out-and-out striker last season, but he's already played as a winger, as a number 10, and as part of a 2 this season. So he'll definitely be one to watch for Town tomorrow night, whichever kind of side they put out. You're going to imagine they'll be keen on making sure they keep Collins quiet.
Yeah, indeed. And of course, it's all about talking about Town in this Boot Room series, but always good to look out what we've got to look out for against Bristol Rovers. In terms of Town side, we haven't played since the Accrington win, beating that bogey side we always worry about, but we got past that hurdle. Top of the league still, unbeaten. Before we get into your team news, looking at the team, how you feeling in terms of the Town side? Had a rest on the weekend, had a full week on the training ground. How you feeling?
Well, hopefully, I mean, obviously that was unexpected rest they got over the weekend, and one wonders if that kind of changed the plans in any way in terms of having 2 home games back to back. Whether McKenna would have mixed the sides up to keep his players fresh in that time, I don't suppose we'll know. But you'd imagine, hopefully, that players are kind of free of injury. Obviously, other than Shawnee Aluko and perhaps Fanuche Kamara. Again, we'll find that out later on. So yeah, I mean, there's a couple of questions, isn't there, going into the game in terms of selection, because there are a couple of surprise choices at Accrington, with Caden Jackson particularly, and Cameron Burgess coming in, George Evanson dropping out completely, and Tyrese John Jules coming into the side as well. So does he stick with that? Probably not. Does he twist? Probably. So yeah, the team will be interesting, won't it? As it always is.
Definitely. I'm going to give you the power then, Heathy. You're the manager. What are you going for? Are you bringing Emerson back? Are you starting a Ladapo? What are you doing, my friend?
I think it's hard to make a case to drop Cameron Burgess after he played so well at Accrington, so I'll be sticking with him. In terms of the other guys, Chaplin and Ladapo changed the game when they came on Accrington, didn't they? Chaplin obviously got both goals, and Ladapo allowed Town to take a bit more control of the game with his physicality, ability to hold the ball up, maybe. So I'd imagine it will be a fairly similar team to what we're expected to see. So obviously Walton in goal, Donasian, Wolfenden, Burgess I'm sticking with at the back. The tried and tested midfield, you've got Burns, Morsey, Evans and Leif Davis. You'd imagine that will stay the same. Chaplin and Harness surely will be the two that start behind the striker. Both got 5 goals this season, of course. And then for me, I'd be starting Freddie Ladapo. I think he's clearly the senior striker at the club. We need him to start scoring. And Ghassan Ahadmi, although he excites me, I can't see him jumping straight in as a starter over Ladapo. The game after Ladapo's come off the bench and done pretty well. So hopefully we get to see Ghassan Ahadmi at some point, last 20, 30 minutes, causing a bit of chaos and knocking people around. But I'd be starting Ladapo tomorrow. What about you?
I'm pretty similar. I've got that written down as well. And yeah, once again, the 5-sub rule is always going to go in our favour. And yeah, we can bring on Ghassan Ahadmi, you can bring on John Jules, Caden Jackson, so many different players you can bring on. And I think that will come in effect again on Tuesday night. So yeah, I think that is the team. I think a lot of fans probably put down as well. They like to see Chaplin starting. He was a game changer, same as Ladapo when he came off the bench. So I think that would be a team I'll be happy with if that starts on Tuesday night against Bristol Rovers. Well, Heathy, let's get into some key stats before we get into the key part of the video, prediction time. So let's take a look. Okay, Heathy, we're back. And what do you reckon then? Town, Bristol Rovers, top of the league versus 16th in League One. What are you going for?
Can I first say, Ross, how interesting I found those key stats? An excellent addition to Boot Room this season. Prediction-wise, I wrote a bit about predicting the next few games a few weeks ago, and I said 2-1 in this game. I think I've got the feeling it's going to be a bit of a dramatic game, and that was before all the extra kind of emotion emerged. So I think it's going to be a great atmosphere, special night under the lights, respect being paid as well, obviously with the Queen and Marcus Stewart. And I just feel like there's going to be some kind of flashpoint with Joey Barton, just because he loves that kind of coming to a big club as the underdog. Obviously, has history with Town from his days at Fleetwood. So I think there's going to be some kind of drama off the pitch as well as maybe on it. So I'm saying 2-1, but I think it might be a tough game for Town. I think Bristol will come and try and make it really difficult for them. And obviously they have a man in form up top as well. So I'm saying 2-1. Hopefully Town will find a way to win and keep the momentum going.
Okay, then. Well, we did a video, of course, as well, looking at September fixtures, predicting each one. Of course, the Cambridge game, that has now been, scrapped in part of that video because we weren't able to get it right or get it wrong. I went 1-1 for the Bristol Rovers game, but I've changed my mind. I don't know if I'm allowed to. I'm probably not allowed to because I went for a draw because I think it's just been one of those. But I think it could also go a different way where Town could batter Bristol Rovers. And I think, you know what? I think that's what's going to happen with the emotion under lights. I think we could see a lot of goals. I think we could see a Doncaster game and we beat them 6-0. Someone scoring a hat-trick, loads of goals. That could happen, but also the other way it could happen. We could draw.
I hope you're right, Ross. I mean, you are right more often than pretty much all of us, in fact. But you're not called Rostradamus for nothing. I'll take a 6-0 tomorrow. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Would be nice. As I said, a hat-trick from someone, a few other goals, a set-piece goal, as you said. They're not very good at defending set pieces. Cameron Burgess, bullet header, happy days, all 3 points. But anything can happen, of course, under lights at Portman Road. But yeah, it's going to be an emotional night, Heathy. Thanks for joining me. Any other business, any other notes before we wrap up, my friend?
No, just as ever, just hope it's a good game. Sorry you've got me and Roscoe today as opposed to Andy and Stu. They'll be back. Normal service will be resumed later this week. So yeah, if you go into the game, enjoy it. If you're not, follow it all with the boys. You'll be there. Obviously, Andy and Stu will be there as well. And it should be quite a special night, an historic night, certainly, at Ipswich Town.
Indeed. Well, thank everyone for watching. Thanks, Heathy, for joining me. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye for now.